BlackRock hasn't filed for an XRP ETF yet. But according to Nate Geraci, president of ETF Store, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Geraci recently said he firmly believes BlackRock will eventually file for a spot XRP ETF. And that's not just a random opinion. He's been tracking the ETF space for years and points out something very clear. BlackRock led the way with Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So why would they let other players dominate the next big crypto ETFs, especially for assets like XRP or Solana, which are next in line by market size? Let's break it down. Right now, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, IBIT, and iShares Ethereum Trust, ETHA, are both performing well. These two were launched at a time when the regulatory environment was still warming up. But once Bitcoin futures and Ethereum products became mainstream, BlackRock made its move. So Geraci is applying the same logic to XRP. He believes that the groundwork is being laid, even if it doesn't look obvious yet. One important clue he points out is the launch of regulated XRP futures on the CME, which happened recently. Futures contracts often come before a spot ETF. This was true with Bitcoin and Ethereum. In fact, Geraci noted this step as a major milestone that increases the chances of an XRP ETF in the US. Now here's where things get more interesting. While BlackRock remains silent, other big names are already in the game. Firms like Bitwise, 21 Shares, WisdomTree, Franklin Templeton, and Grayscale have already filed applications for a spot XRP ETF. These companies are not waiting. They've seen the direction of the market and want to be early. But the SEC hasn't made any decisions yet. Take 21 Shares, for example. The SEC has pushed their decision on a spot XRP ETF to October 2025, following the usual 240-day timeline. Grayscale faced a key deadline on May 22nd, but the SEC chose not to issue a decision. Then, on May 28th, WisdomTree's XRP Trust became the first US-based XRP ETF to reach the formal review stage, with the SEC even opening a public comment period on potential risks. So while BlackRock stays quiet, the process is moving forward. But why is BlackRock holding back? Well, Samara Cohen, BlackRock's head of ETF strategy, gave us a clue last year. She said that, at the time, only Bitcoin and Ethereum met BlackRock's internal standards due to their higher liquidity and market maturity. XRP simply wasn't there yet. But that was mid-2024. And since then, Ripple's legal battle with the SEC has moved toward resolution, and the XRP ecosystem is growing more stable. That could change BlackRock's internal view. But remember, BlackRock moves strategically. They don't jump into trends, they wait for the right moment and the right conditions. If BlackRock does file, it likely won't be because of hype, but because they've done the math and the legal homework. Meanwhile, outside the US, XRP ETFs are already becoming reality. In Europe, 21 Shares already offers an XRP ETF, the XRP ETF, trading in Switzerland. Even more significantly, Brazil has become the first country in the world to approve a spot XRP ETF. That tells us something. Globally, the appetite for regulated XRP products is rising, even if the US is slower to catch up. So let's step back. What Nate Geraci is really saying is that BlackRock doesn't want to miss out. They didn't let others lead in Bitcoin or Ethereum ETFs, and they probably won't with XRP either. But the timing will be deliberate. They'll wait for clearer regulatory signals, market maturity, and perhaps more clarity on how the SEC treats crypto assets beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. In the end, we don't have an official XRP ETF from BlackRock yet. But the signals from regulated futures, rising global interest, and competing filings are aligning. And when BlackRock finally moves, it could legitimize XRP in a way that no other event has before. So the real question isn't, will BlackRock file? It's, when will they decide it's the right time to strike? Stay tuned.